In the current rise of artificial intelligence, one term that worries me a lot is virtual girlfriends. We're talking about digital companions who you text and talk to and are at least trying to mimic what is a romantic connection. I saw this thread from the developer of one of these products, and on one hand, it's interesting that one doesn't need ultra realism in these models. In fact, this girl pretty much looks like your regular Pixar character. She was actually designed by people formerly employed by Pixar. That must be the reason why she gives heavy Aunt Cass vibes, I'm sure. Yeah, Big Hero 6 is not from Pixar, but you know what I mean. My question is, of all the things you could use artificial intelligence for, you really had to make the movie Her a reality, right? So let's talk about the consequences, for better or worse. Hello and welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my body language analysis and tips. Let's get down to it. It is no surprise that someone was going to take this business seriously, since men's ability to establish a romantic relationship has been declining year over year. You can blame social media or TikTok or whatever pandemic is trending. The fact that humans having their faces buried on a screen doesn't help for, well, not even eye contact. And in those screens, the line that separates reality from not reality is blurring more and more, such as these digital influencers that are more or less synthetic or completely non existent females created with tools like Midjourney or DALI. There's a real concern because, as you might already know, our brains cannot tell a real stimulus from a fake one because, in the end, they are all interpreted the same way by our gray matter. Now, in this video, I want to focus on the relationship with a romantic companionship, which is disturbing enough being a digital entity. Although Elon has already mentioned that Tesla's bot Optimus could have a cat girl version. Can't imagine what could go wrong with that one. But it's crucial to consider the various psychological impacts this trend might have on men. I want to focus on men because perhaps this is just a more complex version of the online models phenomenon, which is a market that caters mostly to men. But if you're a woman and you think you would also be satisfied with a digital boyfriend, please let me know in the comments. Just in case, I made a poll on X about this, and the first 100 answers suggest that yes, this is going to be a problem for men and by extension for everyone if you think about it. The first concern is that relying on AI for companionship can lead to social isolation. Human relationships are complex and involve navigating various emotions, conflict resolution, and empathy. And AI, no matter how sophisticated, is going to focus on just one thing: please you. And everybody knows that this is not how human relationships work. There is always some level of friction. There are arguments, there is some degree of conflict, and that's normal because it means that you have two human beings with different personalities and character trying to make this work together. If an AI always answers what you want to hear, no matter how realistic, no matter how perfect the interaction, it will automatically mean that it lacks the depth of human emotions. If a man starts to interact with these monstrosities and has that initial dopamine rush of a cute lady who he can talk to and have instant gratification, that's not a human relationship. That's only an artificial pleasure loop. If the man keeps interacting with her, it will impede or even atrophy his social skills. And not only the social skills that refer to talking to women or having a romantic relationship, but his social skills in general, because he will begin to develop unrealistic expectations from the world at large. Every time he feels frustrated with real humans, he can always go back to his AI girlfriend so she can reassure him how great, handsome, intelligent he is. Let's imagine for a moment that the people behind these products insert some kind of nagging level. They want to make her extra realistic. So you can choose how nagging your AI girlfriend is going to be. And you're still defeating the purpose because in real life, you don't get to control if a person is nagging today and not tomorrow. Precisely, that is not how human relationships work. So that choice is another illusion that will make men think that they are getting good, that this is a real deal. And I say getting good because I know many men will think that an AI girlfriend will serve as practice to be able to get a real girlfriend in real life, which simply will not be the case. Quite the opposite. AI girlfriends will only make men have unrealistic expectations about relationships, which will lead to frustration, which in turn will lead to more reliance on AI girlfriends. As I'm telling you, this is a vicious circle that will do more harm than good. A real life relationship means compromise, imperfection, and mutual understanding. That is not easy. That takes work together and a conscious effort to understand the other person. That is without mentioning that if a man doesn't develop the required skills for a healthy relationship, then they will be even more vulnerable to narcissistic behaviors because they will not be able to spot the warning signs. Which, by the way, we already know thanks to recollections such as Johnny Depp's first year of marriage with Amber Heard. It absolutely looks and feels like a perfect relationship. Pretty much what you would expect from a relationship with a digital girlfriend. If we are talking of a vicious circle, we will end up in emotional dependency. And this kind of dependency will only exacerbate feelings of loneliness and social anxiety in the long term. Guess how these men are going to try to solve that? This emotional dependency is also a characteristic of narcissistic relationships, which is what leads into gaslighting, or the period in which the narcissist makes sure to mess with their victim's head and self-perception. Now, someone could argue that there will never be gaslighting. A digital girlfriend is going to be nice forever, so what's the risk? That will be perfect for lonely people, so they don't feel lonely anymore. Well, you know that dogs exist, right? Puppies. Get yourself a puppy and this will be much, much healthier than anything else. Because trying to fix loneliness with an AI girlfriend will be like trying to fix a drinking problem with a daily pint of lager. Not a good plan. If you thought that this was all you needed to worry about, there's also the fact that healthy human relationships often challenge individuals to grow and see different perspectives. So it would not be only in terms of human relationships. Stagnation will occur in all facets of personal development, which would prove to be catastrophic. Not to mention that AI in intimate settings raises ethical questions about the objectification of companionship and, the implications of creating AI that mimics human emotions and behaviors. In other words, is this the right thing to do? In conclusion, while AI and digital companions can offer certain benefits, such as providing company for the lonely, the psychological implications, particularly regarding their social skills, mental health, and perceptions of real life relationships, will be a net negative in the long run. It's crucial for anybody engaging with this borderline science fiction stuff to maintain a balance and continue to foster real human connections. Because if we are not careful and they create a digital Emily Blunt, humanity is doomed. My body language buddies, remember to download my 100 body language tips right in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Remember the two most important words: much love and bliss.